Hi everyone, it's Claire back again. We're going to do an application video today. A couple of people have asked me how I paint my nails and how I get them to be so neat. I mean, I don't think they always are, and there's usually quite a bit of clean-up. But I'm going to show you how I paint my nails with different types of brushes, because I think the application is dependent very much on the brush that you use, the formula of the nail polish, and it's not just about how steady your hand is. The first thing I would say is if you're beginning to paint your nails is to lean on a flat surface, and don't feel that you have to keep your fingers completely still. You can move your fingers around as you're painting. So I've got clean hands, reasonably clean nails, although I did notice there's still a little bit of the previous manicure still there. Can I get a bit better focus? I think that's probably about it, so hopefully you can see. And the cuticles aren't brilliant, but I've put some cuticle oil on, which is this pure argan oil. And I've also put a base coat on, which is SE Grow Stronger, because I am trying to grow my nails at the moment. They are a little bit peely at the edge, if you can see there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is paint with a thicker brush, and I'm going to use some of the new polishes that I've picked up. So this is the OPI. A bit too close to the camera there, but it's a boy. Yeah, that's just too close. But it's a boy from OPI, and this has got a thicker brush. So it's got a fairly flat brush. It's not too flat. I will show you a very flat brush, but this is a kind of standard OPI brush. And what I would do is dip the stem and the brush in and just scrape one side so that you've got the polish coming to the front of one side. And then what I would do is not quite to the cuticle, just about there, and then push up slightly and down. And I would do the sides. Try not to create too much of a mess, but I didn't put a great deal of polish on the brush. That's just the first coat, and I didn't get everything at the side there because it's a bit awkward underneath the phone, but we'll come back to that one. But I haven't gone as near to I haven't gone right up to the cuticles. I've left a tiny little bit of space there. Sometimes I go a little bit further, but that's fine. Okay, I'm going to show you another brush now. This is from the Eve Snow that I picked up yesterday. So it's a similar colour, slightly greyer pale blue, and this is Skylar. And this has a much thicker brush. So I'll show you the brush on this one. So this is flat stem and a flat brush. So again, dip the brush in and take it off one side, pushing it up to the front of the other side, and so you're going up to the cuticle, pushing it up and down. Move the fingers around. Yeah, I got a little bit more on the brush this time, and it is a better formula. So that's a slightly better application than the first one. Okay, hopefully you can see these colours. Knocking the oils over. Now I'm going to show you a darker colour with a thin brush. So this is the Ciate that I picked up yesterday, and this is the brush. So it's fairly thin, and it's a dark satin metallic gunmetal grey. And just by doing that, just by moving there, I've already smudged that nice application. Okay, so up to the cuticle, but not right up to it, and then push and down. So I usually start in the middle, and move your finger around to accommodate the brush. I didn't put as much. I'm usually much more heavy-handed and have much more polish on the brush, but you can see it's not completely perfect. There's going to be a little bit of clean up here, so I'll show you how I do that in a second. And on this little finger here, I'm going to show you one of the brights that I picked up yesterday. So this is Essie, Sunset Streaks, and this is one that I picked up from TK Maxx yesterday. This has got a thin brush, and I have put a lot of polish on that one, so I've actually flooded the cuticles there. So that's gone right into the cuticles. So you can see this, you can see all the mistakes that I'm making. Okay, so we're going to go back now. Usually once you've done, if it's a decent enough brand and formula, they usually, oh god, I've massively flooded that one. They would usually be dry to the touch, yeah. For you to go back on the second coat once you've finished applying the first coat. So we're going to go back with the OPI. Yeah, I've put much more. You can always scrape it off the brush if you feel you've put a little bit too much on. So you can still see some of the nail under there. It's not the best application, so I would probably need to go back for a third coat unless I was applying this a lot more careful. This is the Eve Snow. Let's see if we can iron out that little dink that I made there. It's quite an opaque formula, so we might get away with it. So I've flooded the cuticles there. So move your fingers around, otherwise you will. Easier to flood the cuticles. That's actually a really nice polish, nice finish. The Ciate. So sometimes with a thinner brush, it is easier to get down into the corners. Again, you can move your fingers around as you're applying. This almost doesn't look like it needs a second coat, but I'm going to anyway. Gorgeous, bright, vibrant, corally orange. Okay, now what you want to do is make sure you let your nails dry. So I'm going to do that, and I'll pause, and then we'll come back and look at what we need to do with this clean up here. Okay, I think they've dried enough for us to do some repair work, and I also off camera added a third coat of the OPI It's a Boy. So let's start off with this one, where it's just a small amount of cleanup here. Oops, use a cleaner side. So here, what I would do is use a nail corrector pen. There's a number of ways that you can do cleanup, but this is the easiest and quickest way for me. So it looks like this. It's non-acetone, and obviously the liquid is in the barrel, and I'm completely in the I was trying to do this so that you can see, but I've got a feeling I'm completely blocking out the light. Like that. Still a little bit there. Usually fiddle around a little bit with an orange stick. There you go, I think that's probably the best we're going to get that one. This one has flooded the cuticles a little bit here. So what I would do with an orange stick is just try to gently remove some of the excess. And then the same with the cleanup pen. So I'm kind of stretching the cuticles out there so that I can just get as far in as I possibly can to remove that. So these come with extra tips, and you can replace them. When the liquid runs out, you can replace it as well, but what I tend to do is just have a little bit of polish remover in a cap and just dip the pen into it. Oops. You can pick these up, I think I picked this up from Tesco's for about $4.99, and they last for quite a while. I mean, you can use cotton buds dipped in acetone. You can use a clean-up brush, but it's just, this is my preferred method. Okay, so that's that one. The third one here, we can see we've got some spillage over this side and a little bit of a mess over on the other side of the cuticle here. So I think it's the same with the pen. If you get an excess of polish on the pen, just wipe that off on a cotton pad. There we go. Now this one, in all honesty, if I had flooded the cuticles this badly, I would probably just remove the whole thing and start again. But let's see if we can repair this. So I'm going to try and remove without dragging the cuticles and damaging the cuticles as much as we can. Yeah, I've scraped that too badly. That's coming off. Yeah, that was off completely. I ended up removing that, and it's actually, there's a little bit, not a great deal, but a little bit of staining just here around the cuticle, so I'm going to have to sort that out. Okay, but let's just concentrate on these three for now. So I did add another coat, so that's 3 coats, which isn't unusual for very pale colours. Sometimes that you can get, you're lucky and you can get them really opaque, like this one, the Eve Snow. And this one here is the Ciate, the gunmetal, and you can see the clear. It's not completely perfect, and it's not always completely straight, but nobody's going to be staring that closely at your nails. Okay, the other thing to show you is the top coat that I use. So this is my trusted Old Faithful. It's very popular in the nail polish community just because it's super quick drying and it's very glossy. So this is Seche Vite. It does get a little bit gloopy sometimes, and I'm probably round about getting to halfway down the bottle, which is when it usually starts getting a little bit stringy. But we're just going to top coat these. So again, the same principle, up to the cuticle but not into the cuticle, and you want to try and get a blob on one side and just push it up a little bit towards the cuticle and then back down again, and I would start in the middle and then go around the sides. So you can see how thick I am with my application. I didn't start in the middle there. But yeah, I'm very slightly moving and manipulating the fingers around to accommodate the brush. So you've got both hands kind of working in tandem with each other. So that's the top coat, very thick top coat. Hopefully you were able to see this with the light, and that's how I generally tend to paint my nails and to clean up after myself. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.